Welcome or welcome back to my little creative corner of the internet. And welcome to Junk Journal January, day 7. Let's dive into today's prompt, which is tuck spot. So grab your journal and start creating alongside with me. Can't believe we're already 7 days into our new creativity challenge, and I'm absolutely loving how this journal is coming together so far. And thanks so much to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for 3,000 of all of you. I'm so happy that our little creative corner here is growing so much at the moment. I hope you are all having a lot of fun watching my videos and get inspired and get creative. Thanks so much for following me on my creative journey. Here I'm just flipping around to find out which of the pages I'm using for the tuck spot, and then before I did find the final page, I did decide to take out this beautiful botanical old book and pick out one of the botanical illustrations of the book to use as the part where I will make the tuck spot out of. As I decided it's a quite big picture, I didn't really want it to cover that much of this beautiful medieval illustration old book page. So I did decide to, after ripping the whole thing to size, that I wanted to use a different page for today's prompt. That's why I started again to flip back through the journal and see which spread I could use for it. And it's the backside of the beautiful illustration paper, and the backside of those kind of art book pages are quite simple with just some writing on it, and I thought that would fit perfectly. Now I'm just taking out the glue and folding down the bigger parts of the page to make everything a bit more sturdy, so that when I glue and sew down the tuck spot, it's a bit more stable than just a normal flimsy little book page would be. I also did include a bit of collaging and decorations onto the spread to have it a bit more visual interest, and then spiced it up with some stickers. This spread is another very simple and minimalistic one, and then I did tuck in my Christmas cards from last year because they did need a home still, and I thought, why not include them in my junk journal for this January, where I can keep them kind of safe and they have a home and don't get lost somewhere in the paper stash. And maybe I can use them for a different junk journal or something in the future, but then I know where I can find them. And even if I don't use them, they have a home to live in. Here I'm just taking out this sticker that looks like an old vintage inspired stamp and add it onto the page here. It's just something that I thought would be beautiful and would add something to the botanical illustrations. So just going with the flow, adding some decorations and beautiful things here to have a simple but beautiful spread where I can store my Christmas cards. I'm really happy with how this spread turned out now. Here I'm just sewing down the edges of the paper so that the edges of the paper and the junk journal is combined, so that we have the tuck spot ready to go. And I just really love to include some sewing into my junk journaling process, because I think the twine adds so much more interest to a junk journal spread, and I absolutely love to experiment with all the different techniques and all the stuff that would make a normal sketchbook spread be too bulky. I like to include in my junk journals, so that's why I go a bit more wide with the materials from yesterday, and also like including some sewing here, or the button I have sewed onto the cover of this junk journal. That's just something I really like to include in those kind of journals, which I wouldn't incorporate into my art journaling in my normal journal spreads. I hope it makes sense. I just feel like there's a bit of a different style in my art and my journaling when I do a junk journal, or if I do just an art journal spread in my sketchbook, or if I do just a regular journal entry in my normal everyday life journal, or if I do an entry in my bullet journal. It's kind of, everything looks a bit different in a way, but I feel like it's completely fine. Everything of it is kind of me and how I do my things. Here I'm adding the little 7 for the day of the challenge, and I feel like it's totally fine. Everyone can do with their journaling whatever floats their boat, and some people would maybe prefer combining every aspect of journaling in all one book or one journal, and somebody else might also prefer it like I do it, with different books for different things. Here I'm adding the Christmas card to the journal. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Super minimalistic, but super fun. I hope you had as much fun as I had creating this spread, watching me get creative, and I hope you created alongside with me. If you enjoyed today's video, a thumbs up would make me really happy. And if you want to join me on this creative adventure and many more to come, hit the subscribe button down below. See you very soon. And until then, happy Junk Journal January.